Hello and welcome to Global Investment Real Estate and Residency Show Phase 3. This exclusive event is brought to you by TEG Group, a company that organizes live and online events. I'm director and co-founder and a part of this exceptional team. My name is Abdul Basit and I'm your host this evening. By the end of this webinar, you will know how to invest securely in Caribbean countries or Montenegro to get citizenship and secure your family's future. We have been joined by industry-leading companies who will guide you with the best options and the processes. First company joining us today is CS Global Partners. CS Global Partners is a legal advisory specialized in residency and citizenship by investment solutions. CS Global Partners proudly holds two government mandates to market their investor immigration programs. CS Global Partners is representing Dominica and St. Kitts and Nevis today. Second company joining us is representing Grenada and is called Aura Caribbean. Aura Caribbean is a part of Aura Developers, has a proven track record of creating beautiful environments that balance exceptional thinking with enduringly sensitive design. Aura Caribbean's first luxury resort in Grenada opened on December 1st, 2018, with a prominent location on one of the world's most magnificent beaches. Last but not the least, Montenegro Luxury Hotel and Resort Group is representing Montenegro. Montenegro Luxury Hotel and Resort Group offers an impressive collection of suites with reasonable, splendid brand touch, designed to meet the highest expectations of discerning international buyers. We will have presentations of Dominica and St. Kitts and Nevis, and then Grenada, and in the end, Montenegro. After every presentation, you can ask live questions in the question and answer section at the bottom of your screen. With that, I would like to introduce first speaker of the evening, Ms. Jane Gorden, representing CS Global Partners. Jane is qualified PR executive with 15 plus years experience working in agencies and corporates across the UK and South Africa. She's currently the PR and communications executive at CS Global Partners, where she promotes citizenship by investment programs to citizens across the world. A South African herself, Jane is passionate about promoting solutions to South African market that meet their specific need. Hello, Jane. How are you doing today?
Hi, Abdul. Thank you so much for the introduction. I am very well. How are you?
I'm very good. I'm very good. We are definitely looking forward to what you have to share with us today.
Thank you so much. Well, just as I start to share my screen, I'd first of all just like to say hello to everybody. Good evening. For those of you who are based in South Africa, I hope you are all keeping well and keeping warm. I'm speaking to you from a chilly Cape Town. Right, let me share this here. Right, can you see my screen?
Yes, we can. Great.
Fantastic. So to start off, yes, just saying a welcome and a hello, and thinking of you all who are based in South Africa, particularly in light of the third wave we're finding ourselves in. I hope everybody is keeping safe. So it's a great privilege to be speaking to you tonight. And what specifically I'm going to be talking about is looking at South Africans and why second citizenship is needed as an insurance policy. So to really unpack why we need to be investing in an option that we could potentially use in the future and really using it as an insurance for our family or for ourselves. To kind of launch it and set it off, looking at dual citizenship, I'm sure most of us are no stranger to this, and it's not uncommon in South Africa for many to hold the second citizenship. A lot of African countries do handle second citizenships differently, whether they allow it or not. There are different legal processes, but in South Africa, it's perfectly legal to hold a second citizenship. You just need to follow these correct steps to make sure that you are retaining your South African citizenship, but it is perfectly legal to hold too. And in South Africa, many second citizenships are acquired often as a result of ancestry, often being passed down, particularly from parents potentially who are born in European countries such as the UK. And that's quite a common route that many of us have available to us. But really looking at what dual citizenship provides you with, and simply put, we are really showcasing that it is giving you options. It is giving you and your family options. It's an insurance policy should you wish to use it. Why do South Africans need a second citizenship? As I've said, I myself am a South African, so I am fully aware of the pain points that we feel in this country. And I've highlighted some of the driving factors that we've seen as being key points. The first being high crime rates. Sadly, as a country, we do have high crime rates, particularly violent crime, and that's often a driving factor for many. Government instability, regardless of your political alignments, there is not the most stable government in place. There is some corruption, and that is of concern. Load shedding, I think, none of us based in South Africa are strangers to the stress that load shedding has provided us. For those who are not based in South Africa, essentially our electricity providers have to shut us down for hours at a time in order to preserve our electricity. And it's really as a result of a lack of proper infrastructure in place. And I think as business people, it's particularly frustrating and quite damaging to business, as we are told with quite short notice that we will not be having electricity, sometimes for 4 hours at a time. Water restrictions. As a country, we've gone through many droughts, and whilst obviously we cannot control the weather, again, it points to a lack of infrastructure in place to help accommodate when these things happen. The weak rand. Sadly, the rand is not a strong currency, it being put into junk status last year. It's of a great concern that our currency does not hold up that strongly. The proposed wealth tax, that coming into play, not quite sure what it will look like as yet, but it is making South Africans fairly nervous. And I think particularly high net worth individuals are looking to where they can diversify their wealth, to where they can maybe look into investing overseas. The need for visas when traveling. I think most South Africans are no strangers to having to apply for visas when traveling to most countries, and the length of process that this can take, sometimes being denied the visa for no reason, and the money that it takes often to pay for these visas. And then lastly, the slow COVID-19 vaccination rollout. I think we really have to address this. I think it is making many South Africans nervous. We find ourselves in the midst of this third wave. And I'm sure many of you watched the president's speech on Sunday, where he said 2.7 million, I think it was, had been vaccinated. But out of a population of nearly 60 million, it simply isn't good enough. And I think it's causing a lot of concern for South Africans. Now, as I said, as a South African myself, I think most of us are incredibly proud. We're very proud of who we are. We're very proud of the country we come from. And we don't necessarily want to immigrate. We really don't. However, at some point, I think we all realize that we might have to make the decision to leave, whether it is our decision or whether we feel pushed to leave. And I think we've seen that happen with numerous countries. And what we want to talk about is, so if that moment comes and you need or you want to leave, but how do you do that if you don't have options available to you? And second citizenship gives you that option. It's there if you want to use it. And I think, as mentioned, as we're seeing other countries across the world, large sections of the population being vaccinated, South Africans are starting to feel incredibly nervous as they see, oh, sorry, someone's mic is going on, feeling incredibly nervous as to what our vaccination process is really going to look like. Will we reach our targets? Will we be able to prevent a fourth wave? And as I like to put here, South Africans, we're quite used to marking a plan. We do. We make a plan. We're a resilient people. And I think it's important for South Africans to know that this option is available to them, that second citizenship is there as the ultimate plan B. Let's look at the benefits of second citizenship. So I think a very important one is the ease of travel, particularly for business or even lifestyle. But having that global mobility available to you is incredibly valuable. Opening doors, regardless of pandemic restrictions currently for travel, being able to be a citizen of another country overseas opens many doors to other countries that you can easily travel to. So again, it's access to other countries, and potentially those countries as well have a more stable governance, a more stable currency that's not obviously pegged to the rand. Succession planning. I think in most cases you are able to pass a second citizenship down to future generations, and that's incredibly appealing, especially if you have a family. Access to better healthcare systems. I think in South Africa, obviously public healthcare is not great. Private healthcare is fairly good, but again, it comes at a cost. And even with private healthcare, we're still not able to access vaccinations and things like that as quickly as we would like. Education opportunities as well. This is hugely important. If you have a second citizenship, you can have more easy access to other countries where they have vast number of education opportunities. Wealth diversification and offshore investment. This is key, particularly I think to most of you who I'm speaking to this evening, being able to diversify your wealth much easier and be able to invest overseas, whether it's in real estate or in other areas where you really want to be able to have some offshore investment out of South Africa. Safety for your family. I think I myself have a young family, and I think it's definitely a question. If you are going to want to leave, how can I make sure my family is safe? Where would I take them to? Do I have options available to me? Peace of mind to have that option should you wish to leave. The opportunity for a better quality of life. And I think that's become a lot more key since we've been in this COVID-19 pandemic. People have become a lot more introspective as to how they want to live their lives and, you know, what they want to surround themselves with. And so I think quality of life has become a lot more important. And then lastly, to become more competitive in business on a global scale. South African businesses are very highly regarded. We're very competitive on a global scale in business. But again, we are limited as to what doors are really open to us. The South African passport, I think, can give you visa-free access to about 103 countries, but most of those are within the African continent. So it's difficult to be as competitive as we could be if we had second citizenship. Let's look at some common ways of gaining a second citizenship. I have touched on the first one, so by birth or by ancestry. But again, often, as I think I mentioned, this can only really be passed down one stage. So if you have a parent who potentially has a UK passport, it can be passed down to you, but it waters down. You can't quite pass it down to your children or children's children. Then you could apply for a work visa to a country and then wait a set length of time to become a citizen. I think we've seen people do that with countries like Australia, for example. But again, it's an incredibly lengthy process. And often with a work visa, you need to prove that you are highly skilled in a particular area. You can marry a citizen and then wait a length of time to become a citizen yourself. But again, this is a lengthy process. Or, and this is key to what we are discussing today, you can invest in a citizenship by investment program. So what is citizenship by investment? It's a legal process that enables you as a foreigner to obtain a citizenship in return for a significant investment in a country's economy. If we look at citizenship program by investment programs around the world, the first one was started in 1984 by the Caribbean island of St. Kitts and Nevis, and it is still one of the most trusted and established programs today. And what we're really looking at with CBI is providing a mutually beneficial opportunities for countries. They're receiving non-tax derived revenue via your foreign direct investment, and in return, you are benefiting from the citizenship and also investing in the country that you will then become a citizen of. Why the Caribbean? Now, excuse me, as a company, we have seen the Caribbean become increasingly popular, particularly over the last year. And I think one of the many reasons why is the speed of application. I think it's a big draw card in comparison to some other programs across the world. Some of the fastest turnaround times of application are seen in the Caribbean. Another one is they have fared fairly well for the most part in containing the COVID-19 pandemic. Some islands have done particularly well, and they've been offering their citizens safety and security, and that's key, particularly at this time. The close proximity to the USA, that's very important, and their use of the US dollar for investment. That's very appealing. Otherwise, if they use the EC dollar, it's very important, particularly to make sure that you are making a sound and stable investment. And since the pandemic, I think on another level, I think people have become aware of how restricted they are. And the Caribbean is obviously incredibly appealing. It has, I like to say it has all the beautiful benefits of South Africa, but without the crime and without the concerns that we have. It has a wonderful climate. It has friendly people. It has an amazing quality of life. So I don't think it's any surprise why we're seeing such a lot of interest from South African citizens. I'd now like to have a look at two of the most established programs, just to give you a bit more of an idea of them. And we're going to look at Dominica and St. Kitts and Nevis. So to look at them together, To obtain a second citizenship of Dominica or St. Kitts and Nevis, what are you benefiting from? You're benefiting from an extended global reach. You're safeguarding against economic and political volatility in your own country. You're opening up business-friendly environments. These countries really have strong incentives for investors and a lot of opportunity for investors. It's a chance for you to diversify your assets, and it really is the ultimate hedge against uncertainty and risk. I think it's also important to note that when you do apply for these citizenship by investment programs for these two countries, you do not need to demonstrate a minimum level of business experience or a proven track record of achievement. As I mentioned earlier, when you're doing work visas to different countries, often you have to jump through many hoops to show that you are highly skilled in a certain area. That is not the case with these CBI investments. You do not have to undergo mandatory interviews or cultural and history tests or language tests, and you don't even need to travel to, reside, or live in the country unless you wish to do so. Taking a deeper look at St. Kitts and Nevis, as mentioned, it's one of the first programs that was established in 1984. Their CBI program is the oldest and most trusted, and within the industry, it really has a platinum standard. It's very highly regarded. Their citizenship provides you with visa-free or visa on arrival access to around 155 countries and territories worldwide. It is also the only CBI program to give you a fast-track route option, should you wish. And successful applicants can receive citizenship in as little as 60 days from application submission, which is incredibly fast. Investors can also contribute to the Sustainable Growth Fund. That's one of the options that you can invest in, and it has a very much a positive impact on the nation. You can really see where your money is going. It impacts the economy and the people who live there. And as said, it's become an increasingly popular choice for Africans and South Africans, particularly because of the local currency being pegged to the stable US dollar, the high quality healthcare you can receive, and the doors that it opens for education opportunities. It has close ties to major business hubs like the United States and the United Kingdom. Looking at Dominica, also a very established CBI program there, established in 1993. It has been ranked for 4 consecutive years as the top CBI program in the world by the CBI Index, which is a publication by the Financial Times Professional Wealth Management magazine. The citizenship provides you with visa-free or visa on arrival access to around 140 countries and territories worldwide. And it really is known as the hidden gem of the Caribbean. It is beautiful. A lot of people refer to it as the Garden of Eden. It is a very naturally beautiful and well looked after nation. It has numerous 5-star eco resorts and hotels that you can invest in if you choose the real estate option. And you'll also have the option to make a one-time straightforward contribution to the Economic Diversification Fund. It's very committed to sustainability. They have a ban on plastic, and they are committed to becoming completely climate resilient. They also have a very strong focus on well-being and really do take care of their citizens. Close ties to major business hubs like the United States and the United Kingdom, and they also have a fast application process, which in principle is around 90 days from application. Let's look at the different routes for investment. So for Dominica's Economic Diversification Fund, if you decide to go that route, for a single applicant, you're looking at about $100,000, which is plus minus 1.4 million rand. For a family, you're looking at $175,000, which is plus minus 2.4 million rand. And we're talking of a family of 4. For St. Kitts and Nevis, for their Sustainable Growth Fund, as a single applicant, you're looking at $150,000 US, which is 2.1 million rand. And currently they are offering a limited time offer, which is set to expire on the 31st of December, 2021, where as a family of 4, you can also apply for 150,000, which is plus minus 2.1 million rand. So it's the same. So we found that has become an increasingly popular option for those investing in St. Kitts and Nevis. It's also important to note that on top of these fees, there is a due diligence fee that is attached to this. There are fees involved, often probably looking at about a further 107 at maximum, also it fluctuates, but about $107,000. I'm sorry, 107,000 Rand on top of it for due diligence fees. I think it's also important to note the due diligence process, which is incredibly multi-tiered and layered for each of these countries, and looks at ensuring that every citizen that is accepted as a citizen into one of these countries has been vetted and checked. Then I just wanted to look at some recent trends that we've seen as a company. As I've said, we've seen growing interest in the South African market and the African market as a whole, and in particular from certain areas. So entrepreneurs who want to expand their business reach. Again, this is opening doors for them. Interestingly, particularly from the IT and cryptocurrency, people who are in that business, they want to further their options in the tech space. They want to have more global mobility in order to access that. Then high net worth individuals, they want to diversify, they want to secure their wealth. Young families who want to give their children a safer future. And then an older generation, potentially those who are looking to retire to a different place, or who just want to give their family the gift of second citizenship that they can pass down to their children and to their grandchildren. And then almost in closing, I just think we can't really be doing these presentations without looking at how the pandemic has affected us all as businesses and what we've learned as a result of the pandemic. And I think as a company, we've seen that, you know, at a time when all citizens have felt so restricted, we've never been so desperate for accessibility. And the importance of becoming a global citizen has never been so highlighted. I think as a country, as South Africa, we're competing very strongly on a global scale in business. And I think we want to expand that. We want to be able to harness the opportunities that are available to us. I think we are also becoming much more focused as a globe on sustainability, on well-being, and on our quality of life, which is really a strong draw card for why the Caribbean is becoming so popular. And access to healthcare and vaccinations, it's vital. Smooth rollout plans from government, it's essential. It goes without saying that I think going forward in the future, this will be a key component to places where we reside. So just to look at who we are CS Global Partners. We're a legal and marketing consultancy firm, and we promote citizenship by investment programs. And we really focus on programs that bring win-win situations to both governments and our clients alike. We're trusted advisors, we cultivate durable relationships with our clients, and we really work very closely with you to ascertain what your individual needs are. We look at sort of evolving global situations, and we really work very, very closely to ensure that our clients are investing in the right opportunities. So yes, thank you all very much for listening to me this evening. It's been a pleasure speaking to you. Our contact details on the slide here. Please take note of them. Please feel free to get in touch with us. We would love to connect with you. We would love to answer any of your questions. I can see some questions came through while I was presenting, which I will answer shortly. But thank you very much. It's been a pleasure speaking with you.
Thank you so much, Jane. Thank you for the lovely presentation. I enjoyed it, and I'm sure everyone else enjoyed it same way. We do have a few questions if you are ready for them.
Yes.
Great.
Sorry, I'm just trying to see. So do I answer them on here, or shall I answer them live?
I'll read them for you, and you can answer them live for me. So the first question we have been asked is, can I keep my original passport?
Yes, I mean, I think if you are South African, then yes, you can. If you are from a country where you are allowed to have dual citizenship, then yes, you can.
Okay, does South Africa allow dual citizenship?
Yes.
Great.
But it's important to note, sorry, as I mentioned in the first slide, it is important to note, it does allow dual citizenship. However, there are processes to follow to just I think it's going through Home Affairs, just to let them know that you are retaining your South African citizenship, but it is perfectly legal to do so.
Great. The second question we have got here is that, can I get it by starting my business there? So can they use a business route?
I think they can, but I think in order to, I think they can, I'll have to double check that, but I think in order to make that viable, I think becoming a citizen first and then going the business route from there is the way to go. But be more than happy to connect with Augustine offline as well and chat a little bit further on that one.
Great. The next question is, what documents are needed?
So it's quite a process with our team. There are quite a few documents. I don't have the list of them on me, but it's nothing too detailed. It's things that you will all have. It's kind of your identity documents. It'll be kind of all your legal documents. So Bono, potentially I will touch base with you after this and can send you a more concise list, but it's fairly lengthy, so I will just find it for you rather than going through it on here.
No worries, no worries. Thank you. Next question we have is from Michelle, and she's asking, I don't know any of these countries. How do I choose which one is good for me?
Well, the two that I've spoken about, they are absolutely beautiful. I know that as soon as, travel opens up again, I would love to go travel there. I mean, I think personally, for South Africans, Dominica has been quite a favorite of mine. And I think that, I think you're spoiled for choice. I think the Caribbean islands are beautiful, but Dominica and St. Kitts Nevis, I think, really cater to a South African market very nicely.
Okay, great. And a golden question. Can I get vaccination in Dominica?
If you are a citizen of Dominica, then yes, you can. But I think currently, if you're not a citizen, then you unfortunately have to wait. But it's another very good driving factor to become a citizen.
Great. I would like to say thank you to you, Jane, with that. To all listeners and whoever is watching us on YouTube, we have about 200 plus people viewing us live on YouTube as well right now. So to everyone, if you have any more questions, we'll be happy to answer them. And Jane and her team will get in touch with you, and you can ask any questions that you have. Thank you so much, Jane.
Thank you so much.
With that, I would like to introduce our second speaker of the evening, Mr. Richard Hallam, who is representing Aura Caribbean. Richard is a dual citizen of Grenada and Great Britain. His 30-year work experience have taken him to every continent, but his home for last 15 years is on the Caribbean island of Grenada. Originally a hotelier, Richard branched out into development, real estate, and recently business advisory. He has played a multi-faceted role in the development scene of Grenada, working initially in the acquisition and development of multi-use projects, and later with government and developers in the creation of Grenada CBI program as a special advisor to the Inward Investment Office. Richard has seen a Caribbean CBI program from concept to operation and worked alongside government, CIU offices, agents, and developers. He's an approved marketing agent of Grenada CBI program, and with his direct insider on the island knowledge and close working relationship with all major developers and local agents. He currently holds a position of CBI director for Aura Caribbean, developers of Silversands, Grenada. Hello, Richard. How are you doing?
I should have you introduce me at parties. Kind of before I enter the room. That was great.
Well, I'm rehearsing your.
You did that. You did that off the cuff, I assume. You just made that up. It was wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that, Richard. How are you doing today? I can see a lovely view behind you.
I'm in Grenada. It's just after 12 o'clock noon. So yeah, the weather's beautiful. Thank you. I'm interested to learn what facts you found out about Grenada.
Well, we will definitely discuss facts about Grenada from you, actually, because you've been living there for more than 15 years.
I am.
So I'm sure you have many. I know there are a few like an underwater museum kind of thing, and I know there are a few very interesting places in Grenada, and I'm really looking forward to hear them from you.
Oh, you want now or after?
Well, I am sure you will have something for us now.
I can think. Let me think. We have the most Olympic medals per capita than any country in the world.
Great.
We've got 2.
Okay, well, per capita.
We have a gold and we have a silver, and that's more than anyone else. So we're sticking to that claim. What else can I tell you? Lewis Hamilton, I think 7-time Formula 1 champion, is Grenadian.
Great.
Steve McQueen, who directed 7 Years a Slave, won an Oscar, is Grenadian.
I'm sure there are many more stories, and I'm really looking forward to your presentation and these stories along with.
Well, let me share my screen and jump right onto it now.
Please do.
Okay, just bear with me. So, welcome everybody, and I certainly want to thank Jane for the introduction, which helped me helped me a lot and saved me discussing the citizenship by investment programs in the Caribbean. So as you heard from Jane, there are a number of countries in the Caribbean that offer citizenship through investment or equally through donation. I think some of the main reasons, as Jane touched on, or the three main reasons that people look for a second citizenship from any country are freedom, which basically means your global mobility, your ability to travel the world without visas and without delays. Family, in that you are granting citizenship to your sons, your daughters, your parents, your grandparents, and even your siblings. And future. I think when you are looking at a second citizenship, you are certainly planning for your family's future, for your children's future. In Grenada specifically, your children's children, because once you become a citizen, that citizenship is generational. You can pass it on through your family. So I think those are the three main reasons on top of the ones that Jane already highlighted. Now, Grenada is one of the 5 countries in the Caribbean that offer citizenship by investment. Aura Caribbean are a developer, an approved developer of the Grenada Citizenship by Investment program. So we are building and we are actually operating hospitality resorts and hotels in Grenada that have been approved by the Citizenship by Investment Committee, so that you are able to then invest in those projects and also apply for your citizenship. So I'm just going to briefly run through this PowerPoint, which will explain to you a little bit about Grenada, about the country, a little bit more about Aura Caribbean as a company, and then we'll touch on exactly what it is that Aura Caribbean are offering for you to be able to attain Grenada citizenship. So Aura Caribbean are new into the citizenship market. We, as you probably heard, we are a developer in Grenada. We have already built, developed and operate a hotel called Silversands, which is a beautiful property, 5-star property, 43 rooms and 8 amazing villas on the beachfront. Our second phase of development is a property called Beach House, and that program is, or that development is approved under the Grenada Citizenship by Investment program. So Grenada, as you may or may not know, and this is a nice little map to give you an idea of where I am today compared to where you all are over here. So Grenada is in the Antilles, in the West Indies. We are a windward island. You can see us there, nestled at the bottom of the Caribbean chain. We're actually below the hurricane belt technically there. There are more hurricanes in New York in the past 100 years than there have been in Grenada in the past 100 years. You can see some of the other islands that were referred to there. You see St. Kitts and Nevis, Dominica, also have citizenship programs, Antigua and St. Lucia. Miami is in the top left-hand corner of the screen up here. We have direct flights out of Miami daily, also direct flights out of New York. So when you are able to travel out of South Africa, you can fly direct to New York and then connect directly down to Grenada, so 2 flights. We were a former British colony, obviously now independent Commonwealth country. It's a very small island. We're one of the smallest islands in the world in terms of our size and our population, just 110,000 people, which makes it a very safe island, a very secure island, incredibly friendly. And I think anyone that you talk to that has been to Grenada will talk to the friendliness and the welcoming nature of the people. And as I already touched upon, we have daily service in season from New York, from Miami. We have flights 4 times a week from London, weekly service from Atlanta, from Charlotte and Toronto. So very well connected, quite easy to get to. So there are 2 types of island in the Caribbean. There is your coral islands, such as the Bahamas and Barbados, and then you have your former volcanic islands, which tend to be more mountainous. They tend to have a lot more elevation, rivers, rainforests, and beautiful beaches. Grenada has all of the above. We have white sand beaches, and we have natural black sand beaches, which is volcanic sand. And as you can see, just from a couple of slides, here, that it's a beautifully verdant island. We did touch upon the underwater marine sculpture park, which is the first one in the world. We have around 200 underwater statues that are nestled in a very quiet little bay that you can snorkel and dive in. That's a typical Grenadian beach shot there, looking out over to the islands. So we've talked about Grenada a little bit. I think you understand now about Caribbean citizenship. A Grenadian passport is a great passport to have, similar to Dominica, similar to St. Kitts. It gives you access to over 140 countries worldwide. Primarily and quite uniquely, you get access to visa-free access to China. You get visa-free access to Russia, the UAE, Brazil, all of the Schengen countries, and the UK. And quite uniquely amongst the Caribbean countries, and what is quite attractive to a number of people, is that Grenada has a E2 visa treaty with the United States, which means when you become a Grenadian citizen, you are eligible to apply to live and work while operating a business in the United States. It's a much simpler process than the EB5. It's much cheaper than the EB5. And there are a number of countries that are now, or a number of investors that are now completing their Grenadian citizenship and then going on to apply and be successfully accepted for E2 into the United States. If you are looking to own and operate a business or to migrate to the United States, but don't have the money to afford EB5 or the time to wait for EB5, because the time delays on an EB5 application are between 5 and 15 years, Grenada is certainly an alternative route into the United States. So Aura Caribbean, as I mentioned, are a developer, where CS Global are a marketing agent. So they are able to effectively market the various programs in the various islands to investors. We are on the ground in Grenada, actually building the product that you would be investing in. So as I've already touched upon, we are already the developers and operators of Silversands Grenada. Silversands is our brand, just like Four Seasons or Hilton. The property itself, and I'll show you a slide in a second, is over $120 million, which we invested personally from our own funds, no bank loans, no debt, and 43 rooms, 8 exquisite villas. And if you did decide to come to Grenada in the near future, Silversands would be a place you could stay right now. It's an operational and successful hotel. So unlike a lot of the developers in the CBI industry, we are not a CBI developer. We are an international developer that has a long-term development plan for Grenada. So our interest is in the completion of our development plan. It's in the 500 hotel rooms that we are designing and building on the island, and the subsequent revenues that they would generate. So we are not a developer that is interested in making a profit from a CBI investor, in making a profit from the construction of this hotel. We're interested in the long-term view, and we have a 5-year plan in Grenada. We currently own real estate assets of over 2 million square feet on which to construct and build these future hospitality developments. So this gives you an idea. This gives you an idea of that we just saw where Grenada is in the Caribbean here. This is a kind of a close-up view of the country, and most of the development, most of the tourist attractions, the airport are located in the south of the country, where you see there. So we have these 5 sites. I'm going to be talking to you today about Beach House, which isn't actually as close to the airport as it appears there, but Silversands that you see there is our existing property. Then you have Silversands 2, Silversands Legacy, which is our 3rd phase, Riviera, which is our 4th phase, and then Port Louis, which is a marina residential commercial development, would be the final phase of our 500-room plan. The 3 hotels, Silversands Legacy, Origins, and Riviera, are all located on Grandance Beach, which has been voted one of the top beaches in the world on numerous occasions by Condé Nast, Financial Times, and a number of other publications. So this is an aerial drone shot of Silversands. This isn't a computer generated. This is an actual shot of the property about 6 months after it was completed. So here you have Grandance Beach, which is 2.5 kilometers long. We have our hotel rooms here. We've got this amazing 100-meter infinity edge pool that looks right out onto the Caribbean Sea. Our spa, our restaurants, and then here you will see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 beautiful villas. Some are on the hillside with great sea views. Some are right on the ocean, so you can literally step out of your bedroom and into the sea. So this is a project that we completed, we financed, paid for ourselves, and has been operating now for 2 years. So Aura Caribbean, as I mentioned, has a development plan in Grenada. We are part of a larger conglomerate, if you like, a larger company called Aura Developers. Aura Developers has developments in Greece, Egypt, Cyprus, Pakistan. Our chairman, you may or may not know, is a gentleman, an Egyptian gentleman by the name of Naguib Sawiris. He owns Orascom, which is the 5th largest telecommunications company in the world. And he also owns Euronews, which is the 3rd largest cable news network in the world, behind CNN and BBC. So he's a very well-known, very influential, very affluent businessman, very well known in the Middle East, North Africa region, obviously, because of his origins, but a very well-respected businessman throughout the world, frequently in Forbes' top 50 rich list. And he is the ultimate benefactor and chairman of Aura Developers and Aura Caribbean. So this is Ayia Napa Marina in Cyprus, which was completed there. This is a residential development on the outskirts of Cairo in Egypt. This is a much larger, multifaceted leisure residential development on the outskirts of Lahore in Pakistan. And this is Silversands Mykonos, which is currently under construction, which is a villa hotel development. So we have a track record of development internationally. We have a track record of development in the Caribbean, in Grenada, and we're the only CBI hotel operator in Grenada right now with a successful operating property. So our next phase is Beach House by Silversands. Beach House is a much smaller property than Silversands. It's only 30 rooms. It's on a much smaller site. It's a very boutique property, and it is an approved development of the Grenada Citizenship by Investment Program, which means that you are able to invest in the development and attain or apply for your Grenadian citizenship. So this is a picture with a rendering of the hotel on it. So the hotel, the ground was broken for the hotel site in March of this year. Civil works are currently underway. Vertical construction will start at the end of this year. And then the hotel is slated for completion by Christmas of 2022. So it's quite a small development. It's only 30 rooms, as you can see. So it's a very quick development. The construction cost is significantly less than the Silversands that we built. So it is a relatively easy, quick, and hassle-free development for us to use for the Citizenship by Investment Program and for you to be able to invest in. The rooms, as you can see, are all individual. They've got beautiful canopied designs. There's a central restaurant and spa. And again, you're right on the Caribbean Sea on a beautiful beach called Portiki Beach, which is just down from Grandance, about 5 minutes from town and 10 minutes from the international airport. This is just a master plan or an aerial plan of what the site will look like with regards to the Caribbean Sea here, the beachfront villas, the hillside villas, and then here you see the spa and the restaurant. And if I flick through from the artist's rendering, that gives you an idea of what the project will look like when it is completed next Christmas. This would be the beachfront restaurant. This would be your view as you wake up on one of the beachfront villas. So that is the investment vehicle that Aura Caribbean are proposing for your CBI investment. The mechanics of that, and the unique selling point, as I point out there, are really quite simple. Because Aura Caribbean is not a CBI developer, because Aura Caribbean is looking at the long-term development plan and their long-term development program, we are using your investment funds as a short-term loan. What that means is when you invest in Aura Caribbean, the minimum investment amount as mandated by government is $220,000 US, which I believe to be around 3.15 million rand. When you invest those sums with us, those monies go directly into construction. There are some government fees that you have to pay on top of that. You have to hold your investment for a 5-year period. At the conclusion of that 5-year period, the developer is going to return your original investment amount of $220,000. So your net cost over the 5-year period is going to be very de minimis, and I'll show you a little invoice as to how that works in a second. So the monies or your monies are being used as a short-term loan. All $220,000 are invested into the construction, and then all $220,000 are returned to you at the end of a 5-year period. While you hold your investment, you're allowed to come to Silversands, you're allowed to come to Beach House for 7 nights every year over the 5 years to visit, to see the progress, just to have a holiday with your friends at no cost for the room. There'll be a small housekeeping cost, but it's basically a free stay for 7 nights over the 5-year holding period. So in a nutshell, what you are investing in is you are investing in Aura Caribbean, the company. Aura Caribbean is the company that owns the land, and Aura Caribbean is the company that is developing and building the hotel brand. You are a shareholder. You are one of 68 shareholders only in this particular hotel block, because once we have 68 shareholders, we have raised sufficient capital to build the hotel. The construction of the hotel is going to carry on regardless of how many shares have been sold, because we are mandated to have the hotel open for Christmas of next year. But you have the opportunity to become an investor, to invest your 220,000, to enjoy Grenada for 7 nights or longer if you prefer, over the 5-year holding period, and then to have your investment monies returned to you and still obviously retain your citizenship and enjoy your citizenship as a Grenadian for the rest of your life and your children and your children's children and so on. What that looks like very simply from an invoice perspective and really drilling it down into the finances is you have your cost of share. There are government fees which are mandated. All of the fees that you see there are all mandated by government. The processing application, passport fees, oath of allegiance. There are share registration and divestment fees, which are third-party fees. But your total cost for a family of 4, you can see there, just over $290,000, and that's based on 2 adults and 2 children. But then obviously after the redemption at the end of the 5th year, you have a net cost of just over $18,000 per person. So in a nutshell, without getting into too much detail, and I will be happy to get into more detail with anybody that has any specific questions, Aura Caribbean are a developer. We believe that we are offering an unrivaled investment return. We believe that there is not another development in the Caribbean that can match what we're trying to offer, because we don't believe they have the abilities or the capabilities or the resources that we have. We obviously have previous Caribbean development experience through the construction of Silversands Resort. We obviously have proven development ability through our parent company, Aura Developers, who have projects in Egypt, in Pakistan, in Greece, and in Cyprus, as we saw. We are the only CBI development company in Grenada that actually has an operational Caribbean resort that you can actually come and stay in today. We have, obviously, as you've seen, an international development portfolio, and we have head offices in Cairo, in Dubai, in London, which enable us to have a really good outreach with regards to the developments that we have and the hotels that we're operating. And as mentioned, the construction is not dependent on the CBI sales. So we're not waiting to get a certain amount of CBI sales in order to do this. If we don't get a certain amount of CBI investors, the construction is not going to stop. And I think I can probably disclose to you now that we are at least 60% subscribed to date with regards to the shares that are available for the beach house. So we do believe that by the end of this summer, this program will actually be fully subscribed. And we then may look to potentially offer another one of our development programs through this. We're financially secure. I think that's very, very important, that, you know, by having somebody like Naguib Sawiris as an ultimate benefactor, we have the ability to fund and build a project like Silversands at over $120 million without any CBI input. And our development plan was never intended to include the CBI program. It was a request of the Grenadian government that we include one of our developments in the CBI program to add a little bit more of choice and diversity for investors. So we were always planning to carry on with our development plan without using CBI funding, but as it was a request by government, we've added our next phase to the plan, to the program, enabling you to be able to apply for citizenship through the investment and obviously receive your full investment monies back. And as we discussed, we're an international marketing company. Naguib Sawiris is a very well-known international entrepreneur. And so I think you have the kind of the guarantees or you have the confidence in investing in a company that is established, that is well-known, and that is as good as its word. Oh, and that's me. So that's it in a nutshell. So as a recap, Aura Caribbean are the developer. We are a Grenadian-based developer. You are able to contact us directly if you wish to inquire more about investment. You can also go through your own third-party marketing agents, either in South Africa or internationally, who will also be able to assist you. And I am more than happy and more than available to answer any questions you may have on the project, on the country, and anything else concerning CBI in Grenada. So thank you for your time.
Thank you so much, Richard. Lovely pictures they are. And I definitely want to visit Grenada very soon to see all these places myself. So
did I stay within my time limit, Abdul?
Exactly. That's
okay.
Completely fine. We do have a few questions for you if you're ready.
Please.
Great. So the first question we received is that how long is the process?
Well, I think it depends on when you press the go button. I think for most applicants, it takes, I would say, between 30 and 45 days for them to get their files ready, to get all the information they need in order to apply, their pictures, their medical certificates, their references, their banking details. So all of that has to be obtained. In countries like South Africa, it's probably a lot easier than in some other countries around the world. But we usually say between 30 and 45 days from the minute you decide that you want to apply to citizenship to the point of submission. Once your citizenship application is submitted, then Grenada has around a 90-day processing period, 90 business days. So you're looking between 3 to 4 months to have your response, your approval or otherwise, at which point after that, 10 days to 2 weeks, you have your citizenship certificate and your passports, and you're ready to go.
Great. The second question we have is, what is the property tax?
Well, you're not owning, or the shareholding in Grenada is considered property. But because the class of share that you hold in Aura Caribbean, you're not liable for taxes, you're not liable for any losses, you're not liable, or you have no liabilities to the company. So the property tax would only apply if you owned freehold, for example. Okay. And then they're quite de minimis. I think I'm not quite sure, but I'm not quite sure of the actual tax rate, but it's very, very low when compared to other countries around the world.
Great. Thank you so much. The next question we have is, can I go to USA visa-free?
You cannot go to USA visa-free on your Grenadian passport. You can get a 10-year visa as a Grenadian to enter multiple entry visa to the US by applying at the US Embassy. But I don't think any country other than Canada and maybe Mexico are visa-free to the US anymore.
True. One more question is that, do you guarantee buying back?
Well, I don't like the word guarantee because I think nothing is guaranteed in this life other than death and taxes. I think they're the only two things that we can guarantee in life. I think the structure that we have in place is as good as a guarantee as you're going to get, in that the legal documents that you're signing are pertaining to the share, pertaining to the redemption of the share, and to the reimbursement or the return of your initial investment fund. So there is a legal contract between the developer and yourselves. And then I think when you look at the bigger picture about who the developer is, about the capitalization of the company and who the ultimate benefactor is, I think that should give investors a lot of confidence that the Aura Caribbean are a long-term brand, that they are here for a long-term development plan, and that the offer that we're presenting to people is a bona fide one.
Great. Well, let me tell you, there are a few countries where even tax is not guaranteed. So we only remain with death.
Yeah. I'd love to move to one of those. It sounds like my kind of place.
We'll talk about it separately.
as long as they have a beach.
Okay. One more question is that I am a casino manager and operator. Would that be a plus when I'm applying, or a negative point?
It shouldn't be a negative point. Your occupation should not be a negative point, unless that occupation involves things that would raise red flags in due diligence. But being a casino operator should not be a red flag. I mean, I think when you do due diligence, and due diligence is done in every country, on every applicant, I think the applicants 95% of the time know their history, know who they're associated with, know if they've been involved in any activities which may bring questions as to their reputation and as to who they are as a person. But no, I think, you know, when you're doing due diligence, it's things like if you've been involved in fraud, or if you've been associated with companies that have had financial misdoings, if you are on a government list for any nefarious activities such as terrorism or arms trafficking or sex trafficking and things like that. I mean, it's serious stuff. So I think most people understand, who they are and what they're about. But occupation very rarely is a barrier to citizenship.
Great. One question that I just received, and we'll have it as the last question of this presentation. The gentleman or the lady says, this all looks good, but what are the disadvantages?
I mean, I don't really know. I mean, what the disadvantages would be. I think you have to ask yourself, why do you want a second citizenship? And you know, there are, as I mentioned earlier, there are a number of reasons as to why you would want a second citizenship. There aren't really disadvantages to holding a second citizenship, especially, you know, if you're from South Africa, because you get to retain your current citizenship. The only disadvantage I could think of right now is, if you're from a country that doesn't allow second citizenship, and you may have to you may have to lose the citizenship of your home country if you're looking to get a citizenship to Grenada or any other Caribbean island. But in terms of having a second citizenship, there really are no disadvantages. There are only advantages.
Perfect. I agree with you. I completely agree with you with that. Thank you so much, Richard.
It's a pleasure.
We did receive one question in the middle on YouTube. The gentleman was asking what is the investment required, and I am sure that has been answered during the presentation. But if anyone has any more questions, you will be contacted by Richard and his team, and you can ask any questions you want, and you will be answered accordingly. Thank you so much, Richard, for lovely presentation.
My pleasure. Thank you for listening.
With that, we will move to our next and the last speaker of this evening, who is Miss Maria Knight, who is representing Aura Caribbean. With 2 degrees in international management of tourism and in law, combining over 20 years of rich experience in both the 5-star luxury hospitality and investment sector. Previously worked for various multinational companies that specialize in citizenship by investment, successfully managing several large portfolios. Maria's involvement with the multitude of other countries, which include the Commonwealth, her expertise ensure that every client has a successful outcome by carefully selecting and advising on the type of investment made. She is now part of the team at Montenegro Luxury Hotel and Resorts, and is the key strategic business development manager within the MENA region. Hello, Maria. How are you doing today?
Hello, very good. Thank you. Thank you so much for introduction. I'm really thrilled to be here and just presenting such a beautiful project and the country, of course. So yeah, thank you so much for your introduction.
Great. Well, I have seen your project and I like it personally, and I definitely am sure that everyone who is with us today will see it and they will definitely like it. So kindly please share your screen, and we would like to know more about the project.
Definitely. So what I would like to do is, as Jane already covered many, we can say obstacles, and why the South African would love to have a second citizenship. So based on that, I would like to present Montenegro and the citizenship by investment project in Montenegro with the Montis Mountain Resort. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide my presentation in 3 parts, which I will introduce you Montenegro as a country, Kalashan as a region where the development will take place, and the project itself. So let me share my screen and we will move straight to presentation. All right, let us begin. And as you can see, Montenegro is very easily accessible and perfectly connected within Europe. And of course, I would like to introduce you to this rare opportunity to obtain European citizenship in Montenegro. Montenegro enjoys more than 240 sunny days each year, and geographic position, the sea and the mountain, create a very diverse climate in Montenegro. The average summer temperature is 27 degrees Celsius, and the medium winter is 16 degrees Celsius. As you can see, the total area of the country is 13,812 square kilometers, and the population is approximately 610,000. So official language is Montenegrin and currency is euro. And why we need to invest in Montenegro? I would love to explain you more about the country. So it's important to know that Montenegro is the first country in line for European Union membership. Montenegro was granted EU candidate status in 2010 and is the first in line for full membership, which is expected to be accomplished by 2025. Since gaining independence in 2006, Montenegro has established itself as a safe haven for foreign direct investment and a business-friendly environment with a minimal state interference. All this is reflected in the country's competitive tax regime, which is a rate of 9%, which applies to capital gain, company profits, personal income, and withholding tax. There is no inheritance tax in the country, and the government of Montenegro had pledged is committed to the country's prosperity and economy, tourism, and investment with a foreign policy that ensures political stability. In 2017, Montenegro became a member of NATO. Montenegro is so beautiful and is received over 1 million visitors per year. Montenegro might be tiny, but this gorgeous country has a vast array of natural and man-made wonders. Nowhere around the earth you can find a country which is so much diversity in such a small area. So it's surrounded by beautiful mountains, the river, lakes, the ancient forest. It's so famous for adventures, and you just name it, you actually can get everything in Montenegro. The key tourist destination is, of course, by the Adriatic Sea, as you can see, it's Kotor, Tivat, and Budva. And the northern part is Kalashan, which we will talk more about it just in a minute. Kalashan. So that's the place where our project will take place, and I just want to introduce you to the region a little bit. So Kalashan is a unique destination. The town of Kalashan is situated in a northern part of the Montenegro on a plateau of 954 meters above the sea level. It nested between two magnificent mountain massives, a Montenegro's most vibrant mountain town, and is popular summer and winter tourist destination. As you can see again, Kalashan is offered a lot of experience, which is not just the mountain, it's hiking, but it's also UNESCO protected Tara River, which is known as a tear of Europe. It's definitely very beautiful and vibrant country. Also, Kalashan currently has 46 kilometers of active alpine and Nordic ski trail with a further 15 kilometers in development, and expansion plan totaling is 125 kilometers in the near future. Infrastructure and connecting. So actually, currently, Montenegro is a larger investment project, a new motorway, which is connecting Kalashan and capital of Montenegro, Podgorica. But actually, it's already completed, and it's now taken by highway just only 30 minutes from the international airport to Kalashan. And now I would like to talk more about our project. So, and why it's great to invest on Montenegro. So the citizenship investment program will grant immediate citizenship to applicant and their family, and the process of obtaining Montenegrin passport usually takes from 2 to 6 months. Citizens of Montenegro enjoy visa-free or visa on arrival to 123 countries and territories, including the Schengen zone and several other EU countries. It also includes Russia and Turkey. And an additional, it's a possibility of applying for E2 visa for the United States. The Montis Mountain Resort is one of the Montenegro government-approved projects under the Citizenship by Investment. The Montis Mountain Resort is a 5-star hotel located in Kalashan, and the hotel consists of 238 suites alongside the restaurants, conference room, cinema, pub, wellness, spa, indoor and outdoor swimming pools, kids club, ski room, and a garage. And as you can see, the site area, it will be 14,860 square meters. It's quite amazing waste project. The resort is isolated from the traffic turbulence of the main road and just a 10 minutes walk from the town center. The site is perfectly tucked into the vicinity of lush emerald forest and enclosed by a healthy mountain breeze. The architecture intention was to create a new benchmark of contemporary design and that aligns with the mountain region's context. As a result, the Montis Mountain Resort offered the opportunity to own sustainable luxury suite along with the coveted access to the resort incomparable 5-star service. The hotel large conference hall hosts up to 400 visitors and 2 smaller meeting rooms with the 50 seats. Adding into the town cultural amenities, the hotel has a fully equipped 3D cinema, up to 72 visitors. And apart from the cinema, the hotel pub will have 120 seats. It's also intended for the daily guests. As you can see, the residents have their disposal the signature 5-star Splendid brand services. So you can see we will have a beautiful gym and a spa. So for the fully furnished freehold properties come with the zero maintenance charges and feature a variety of size, which is include juniors, splendid, presidential, and executive suites. As you can see, the interior also complete with the full furnishing, fitting, and appliances by renowned European manufacturer. And I want to definitely mention what is the benefit for the invest in the Montis mountain resorts. Immediate family members and financially dependent children can become citizens of Montenegro without age restriction. There is no obligation to live in Montenegro or learn the local language, and dual citizenship is permitted. Each owner is entitled to 40% of the profit per hotel suite. No maintenance fees. 4 weeks of free stay at the Montis mountain resort after it's open, and 1 week of free stay per year at the splendid conference spa resort in Budva. So we give additional week in our other resorts. Insurance and property tax will be paid by hotel operator. About our investment, the Montis Mountain Resort is a collaborative project by a group of European investors with the long-term experience in the real estate, tourism, and hospitality sector. The resort is operated by one of the Montenegro's most acclaimed luxury resort operators, Splendid. And of course, I would like to mention few more things of the benefits of the citizenship with Montenegro. Land laws grant for foreign investor equal status with the local population, including full deeds and titles to land and real estate. In Montenegro, it's affordable property price in Europe. Lifetime citizenship for family and generation. There is no physical residence required. There is no language test required. And there's no business experience or any military service required. And of course, exclusively for the attendance of this webinar, we're delighted to offer for the successful applicants as a complimentary 3-night stay, including with the breakfast in our 5-star luxury hotel in Splendid in Budva. And when you will be obtaining your passport, and during your stay at Splendid, you will be experience firsthand the luxurious service which we will provide at Montis Mountain Resort. In addition to that, we will be assisting with our compliments to open your bank accounts for your family. So as you can see, I'm grateful for you to stay with us till the end. And this is our contact details. And of course, I will be happy to answer any questions and share more in-depth information once you will require it.
Thank you so much, Maria. Thank you for such an amazing presentation. We do have a few questions for you as well. Are you ready for that?
Absolutely.
Great.
Absolutely.
I just received the last question actually, but I think it is one of the important ones. If you can kindly repeat, how much is the investment? Sure. The gentleman or the lady said.
All right. Sure. The investment is what is required is 100,000 euro is donation to the government, and 250,000 euros is for your investment.
Okay. Going to the other questions, how much is the tax? We have a tax question for you as well.
Sure. As I mentioned in my presentation, within a country, you have a 9%. So it's the lowest tax ever you can find in Europe. So it's a 9%. And there is no inheritance tax in the country.
Okay, great. What kind of schools do you have there?
Any type of school. So as it's a euro, so you have any type of school you require.
Okay. Okay. We
If
have
they have any specific school, like if they're looking for some specific school, I will be happy to research and just to give answers. So because some of might be looking for some different like British or American, so please let me know. I can research for you if for any international sort of specification of the school, but the local school, of course, it's all available.
Sure. Thank you so much. The next question we have here is, what is the advantage of your project over the Port of Montenegro Villa Citizenship by Investment?
In Montenegro, we have approved 15 different projects. So, and we actually learn all of them, and we decide to be a very different. So, as I mentioned, we will not ask from the investors any property tax or maintenance fees. So we will be carrying cost ourselves, and at the same time, we will be sharing a 40% of profit of the hotel with the investors.
Okay, so that gives you an advantage over the other projects.
Of course. Yes, yes.
Perfect. Do we have to live in Montenegro for a minimum period?
Not required, not at all.
Not.
The only one thing what you would like to visit when, of course, to stay for your 4 weeks in Montis, and you have 1 more week in Budva, and you will cover 2 parts of the country, north and south, and enjoy the Adriatic Sea and the skiing at the same time. So I think it's sort of great opportunity to visit the country, but again, it's totally up to you.
Perfect. Perfect. One more question we have here is that just wanted to know whether the Montenegro CBI program is indeed ending by the end of the year.
Well, as of now, yes. So that's why is you have a very short time to make your decision, and I think it's a very rare opportunity to get the European citizenship that quick and with such a minimal investment compared with other programs. But as of now, yes, it will be end on the 31st December 2021.
Okay, perfect. Last question. Can I sell it back and when?
Well, this is a quite common question all the time. So you can, as it's freehold, so you're free to do whatever you need to with your investment. However, you will need to wait until resort is completed. So once the construction is completed, your suite will receive a PD mark, and then you will be able to sell.
Okay, okay, makes sense. Perfect. Thank you so much, Maria. We don't
You're
have
welcome.
questions right now, but if somebody has questions, just like other speakers, Maria and her team will also get in touch with you, and you can ask any questions you may have. I would like to say thank you to all our speakers. We had such a lovely time. There was few very good presentations, and we acquired a lot of knowledge. Maria, Richard, Jane, thank you for being here and giving us all these details.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Abdul.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And with that, to all the viewers right now on Zoom and on YouTube, if you have any questions, please write to us. We will also share them with the presenters and we will get them answered. If you have any other queries, please get in touch with us. You will be contacted shortly by the speakers, and you can directly get in touch with them. Please like us, subscribe us, and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube for further information and knowledge. We will have more upcoming events in different parts of the world. So if you want to attend them, you're definitely welcome. With that, good night to everyone.